Last week, Linus Tech Tips posted their ultimate Steam Deck build, but they forgot one important aspect of it: turning off the outside world. Today's video is brought to you by Thermaltake and the Tower 500. Turn heads with the distinct vertical chassis design of the Tower 500. The wide open interior means unparalleled versatility for your dream build. With support for EATX, CEB, or even EEB motherboards, and space for more fans and cooling options than you can possibly comprehend, you can not only make your build look incredible, but keep it cool too. And thanks to 3 tempered glass side panels, you can enjoy panoramic views of your PC's inner workings. How's your build in luxury with the Thermaltake Tower 500? Click the link down in the video description to learn more. Welcome back to Craft Computing, everyone. As always, I'm Jeff, and that's just as uncomfortable as LeVar Burton has said it is before. Now, it's no secret that I am a big fan of virtual reality, but one thing you might not know is my affinity for augmented reality or head-mounted displays, which I've been collecting for a number of years now. Oh, missed one. A very long time. Now, I've owned the Steam Deck for the last 2 months, and I've actually had the Aya Neo Next for a couple weeks longer than that. And both of these devices have replaced my primary gaming PC. Not because of their incredible performance or graphical fidelity, but because of the convenience form factor, despite their limitations. Now, both these devices have 720p screens, are limited to somewhere between 30 and 60 FPS performance in most modern AAA titles, and have battery life limitations and severe control limitations, especially with keyboard-centric PC games. Now, I've said for a long time that convenience and consistency are much more important than all-around performance in PC gaming, and devices like this are going to prove that more and more every single day. But most of the downfalls to these PCs you can work around. You can increase their storage capacity, you can lower the TDP setting to eke out some more battery life. But there's one thing that you cannot work around, and that is the small screen size. Now sure, if you wanted to walk around with a portable monitor like this, you could totally do that. But you're also compromising the form factor, and you'd might as well walk around with a full-fat gaming laptop if this is the form factor that you're after. The problem with plugging these into a portable monitor is they're not powerful enough to drive 1080p AAA games. And I don't know if you've seen a portable monitor that scales up 720p, but it's not a pretty picture at all. So enter the HMD, or head-mounted displays, that I've been collecting for the last number of years. First up, we have this oversized pair of headphones in the Avegant Glyph, with a pair of 720p DLP projectors designed to shine light directly into your eye holes. Now, I don't say that unironically. This will literally burn your retinas with how bright it is. It has a moderately large field of view for the size of device, but it is one of the most uncomfortable devices that I have ever put on my face. Seriously, the hard plastic rests directly on the bridge of your nose. You have to get it close enough to your eyes to actually get the image in focus and parallaxed properly. And even then, it's actually uncomfortably bright. On the plus side, you can cosplay as Lobot if you don't want the projector shining into your eyes. For input, this uses a single micro HDMI port and does have a built-in battery that is chargeable over a micro USB. You can also use the micro USB for consistent power to keep these powered indefinitely. Next up, we have the Zeiss Cinemizer, which is a pair of OLED screens inside your own personal cinema. Now, these also have built-in headphones, but as you can see, they're just a wired set of earbuds, and probably some of the lowest quality earbuds I've ever used in my life. This one is a tethered device that comes down to a belt pack, which is also your battery and I/O connection. So built into this is a mini HDMI port, as well as an AV audio jack if you wanted to use this to fly a drone or use any other kind of composite video input. Now, the Zeiss Cinemizer is significantly more comfortable than the Avegant Glyph, but field of view is still a significant concern. In fact, it's like I'm holding my cell phone about this far in front of my face. It's not a large screen by any stretch of the imagination. Now again, the Zeiss Cinemizer is just 720p, but it is 60 FPS, and it is a pair of OLED displays, so the picture is actually a fairly decent quality. However, I am just left staring into a black, empty smartphone screen, so it's really not the best overall experience, and again, the headphones on this are absolute junk. Next up, we come to my most expensive head-mounted display purchase, and also my most disappointing in the Epson BT30C. Now, this is also a pair of 720p displays, however, it is using a hybrid OLED and projection technology. So there's a pair of OLED projectors that are shooting into a parallax display and then shining the light back into my eyes. What you end up with is a transparent display that I can see through, but also see the world around me, which is absolutely fantastic. Also, if you don't want to see the outside world, they include this nice pair of sunglasses that is still semi-translucent, but it allows you to use the glasses outdoors. For instance, if you wanted to plug this into a smartphone and fly your drone with it, which is very popular in the drone community. And now for the very long list of downsides to the BT30Cs, and it starts with this tethered USB-C cable. The cable is built into these glasses, so if you damage this at all, there is no repairing or replacing it. Secondly, it connects over USB-C, but it uses what's called DisplayPort Alternate Display Mode. That is a mode that is only supported on very specific devices, mainly Android handhelds or laptops. But the thing is, it's not even fully compatible with any DisplayPort Alt Mode device. I found a number of devices that have that mode on them, but will not work with the Epson BT30Cs. Secondly, it has the same 720p resolution as the other HMDs that I've reviewed so far, but this one is only 30 Hz. So if gaming is your intended use case, this is definitely not the best solution. Next, there's no built-in audio solution. There's no headphones attached to this, and in fact, the only way to get audio is to attach a wired pair of headphones to the little control dongle here that does nothing but control brightness and sound. I think that's a feature that could be controlled from the device you're using. Skip this entirely and give me a little set of downward firing speakers in the temples. That would be a much more elegant and useful solution to running 3 or 4 different cables up to your head. And finally, the price. These are $550. So if they fit your use case and you're looking for an all-in-one device, boy, this will tick a lot of boxes, but at the same time, it's also the most expensive device on the table here by a long shot. So far, you're probably thinking, wow, that sounds very expensive and like a lot of compromise for a device that is basically holding the Steam Deck at arm's length, and you'd be right. But that's until I found these. This is the Nreal Air augmented reality glasses. These come in at just $379, but unfortunately you can't buy them in North America yet. They are exclusive to Japan and the UK. Unless you surf on eBay, and then you can find an international seller who will sell it to you at retail price. Affiliate links down in the video description. Out of all the devices here, these ones look the most normal. I mean, they're large sunglasses, but they don't look cyberpunky. They don't look like I belong in a CD Projekt Red video. They look like large Oakley sunglasses. That's thanks in part to the removable USB-C cable and the hidden speakers inside the temple of the glasses, giving you both video and audio with a single cable that runs back behind your ear. This is also the most technically impressive head-mounted display I've come across yet. First up, this is a 1080p 60Hz display and is using a very similar projection technology to the Epson BT30Cs. It is using a hybrid OLED projection parallax display that is still fully transparent, so I can see through the image, but I can also close it off entirely if I want to immerse myself into my own personal cinema. Now I can't see.
How many fingers am I holding up?
1?
Ah, you nailed it. You nailed the joke.
Also, probably most impressive is the field of view on these glasses. Now, there's a lot of claims by head-mounted display and virtual reality headset makers that say it's like looking at a 140-inch display that's 6 meters away from you. So they give metrics that you can't possibly judge for yourself. These do the same thing. They say it's like a 210-inch cinema display sitting out in front of you. But unlike the rest of these displays, it's actually a really, really large display at a fairly close distance. Whereas most of the other head-mounted displays are akin to holding a cell phone up in front of your face and getting about this level field of view, these have a very impressive wide display. In fact, if I go up to my living room and I look at my 75-inch TV from across the room, this fills about 4 times as much view as that TV does. It's a really, really impressive and immersive display. Now, unlike the Epson BT30Cs, you can actually see part of the image that's projecting into my eye because the projection is coming from the top and then being parallaxed back, whereas the Epson's is projecting from the side and then parallaxed inward. But what I'm looking at right now is an incredibly immersive, clear 1080p image off of my Steam Deck. Now, even without the shade on the front of these glasses, this display is incredibly bright, and even the blacks are super, super black thanks to the OLED projection. So, playing but still being able to see everything around you, man, there's just no explaining how good this display looks. Now, the intended use case for the Nreal Air is to plug it into a smartphone and use as an augmented reality display for your smartphone. Nreal has an application that you can download where you can manipulate different applications, launch different full-screen apps, read email, view news, watch videos, all from your smartphone tethered inside your pocket. The really cool thing, though, is Nreal understands you're going to want to connect these glasses to more things than just your smartphone. So they allow you to unlock them to connect the USB-C ports to any DisplayPort alt mode connected device. So things like the Steam Deck, the Neo Next, or even a laptop with a USB-C port are all supported out of the box. So to be very clear, these are not a virtual reality display. This is not a completely immersive, turn my head and everything turns with me. But this is akin to strapping about a 40 to 50 inch display kind of at arm's length from me. And that's really what it looks like inside the glasses. I know you can't see a thing that I'm doing right now, but I'm playing Borderlands 3.
We kind of can.
That's cool. Headshot, headshot, headshot. As far as use cases for this, this is the device that I've always wanted to take onto planes with me. Because using your laptop, you've always got someone who wants to shoulder surf you. You've always got someone who wants to know what you're doing, what you're playing, what you're watching. This is a device that you can literally turn off the outside world with. You know, like I said, I'm playing Borderlands 3 right now, and I don't care if anyone's looking at me at all, because they can't see what I'm doing. They can't see what I'm playing. But I have one of the most immersive displays inches in front of my face. And it's something that is still light and portable enough that I can fit in my carry-on bag along with something like a Steam Deck or put it into my laptop bag. And it's not really going to be a burden at all. Now, I mentioned 720p scaling to 1080 looks really, really disgusting on most modern 1080p panels. However, on these glasses, there's so little space between the pixels that it looks still absolutely fantastic. So whether your source material is 720p or 1080p, you're gonna wind up with a great looking image with no screen door effect whatsoever inside of these glasses. Now, Borderlands 3 runs at about 40 to 45 FPS in most cases on the Steam Deck, and it's not the smoothest experience, but again, considering we're playing completely on a handheld device, this is more than acceptable if I was on an airplane, in a hotel room, or even I've used these sitting beside my wife at night when I can't sleep and she's dead asleep and I don't want to disturb her with pulling out the Steam Deck and having the brightness set to max. As far as responsiveness goes, this is about on par with a pretty decent 60 hertz gaming monitor. I mean, you're obviously not going to get 144 hertz, but consider the device that I'm playing with right now, you shouldn't expect 144 hertz. But latency is almost non-existent, which is one of the most impressive things about these glasses. There's also little to no motion blur at all. There's no gray to gray latency to speak of. There's no ghosting. It is a very clear and very responsive image because the source of this is just an OLED panel. As far as ergonomics go, this is a very lightweight and very comfortable device to wear. I've put this on my face for, no joke, about 2.5 hours at a time before, and it is just as comfortable as wearing a pair of glasses. There's really no fatigue that happens on my face. The Nreal Air comes with 3 different nose bridges of different lengths, so depending on how high your nose sits in comparison to your eyes, it'll help you get the screen aligned in just the right position to be very comfortable for you. I will say, however, that even with the shortest nose bridge installed on these glasses, the screen does get ever so slightly cut off in the bottom corners for me. And I know when Rhett tried them on, he gave me the same conclusion. So I don't think this is quite meant for faces of people who are 6'5" with very long and tall faces. But your results will vary when it comes to the overall fit and finish and ergonomics, just like any other pair of glasses or headphones might. As far as other adjustments go, there are 3 different positions that you can put the temples into. There are different angles that you can adjust, and the glasses do conform really well to the side of your head. And like I said, I've had no problem at all wearing these for very long lengths of time. If you're someone who is prone to VR sickness or motion sickness, this also might not be a great solution for you, as your eyes are doing something different than what your brain is telling you. That is, if I turn my head, most of my image is staying static. And some people that will cause some illness, some sickness, some dizziness. In me, it's not an issue at all. I have no problem moving my head around and still seeing the image for what it is and not getting sick at all. But it is something to keep in mind, especially if you plan on using these on a plane, that it may not be a great device to strap to your head. Now, these glasses are absolutely great and are the head-mounted display that I've wanted to exist for a very long time, but they're not without a couple criticisms. Number one is it seems that even when connecting to DisplayPort Alt Mode devices, there's a little bit of post-processing that happens. What I mean by that is sometimes the glasses will lag out for a second at a time and then kind of catch themselves up. And that is independent from the hardware, because I've viewed the screen on as well as the glasses on, and I will see the screen rendering perfectly, and then the glasses occasionally kind of run to catch up. Also, at least with the Steam Deck, the audio seems to have a lot of issues syncing with the display. Now, probably 8 out of 10 times, it's a perfect result. I plugged in the glasses, I turn on the Steam Deck, and everything just kind of works. Occasionally, though, the audio will just go all garbled on me. It'll stop playing properly, it'll be laggy and garbled, and it's just not a great experience. And I'm hoping this is something that can be addressed in firmware sometime in the future. At the moment, the Nreal Air is still a low production device. It is still only being sold in a couple different regions, that being Japan and the UK, so I'm hoping better support comes when production is ramped up and more of these bugs are realized and reported. So it's not a perfect device yet, but it is so far in front of the other head-mounted displays and such a good looking display for something like the Steam Deck that at $389, if you are someone who travels a lot and is looking for that next level of gaming portability, this is definitely a device that should be on your list. Now, overall conclusion. Would I recommend you go out and buy an Nreal Air for your Steam Deck? Honestly, the level of immersion and the size of the screen that you get for the cost, again, these are just $389, even not in your native market. It's really an unbelievable deal when you consider something like the Aya Neo Next costs about $1,100. For $1,000, you can get a Steam Deck and an Nreal Air and have a massive gaming screen directly in front of you wherever you go in a package that, well, is about 3 times larger than your cell phone or can slip very easily into most laptop bags. So yeah, I would absolutely recommend, if you are interested in having a gaming monitor or even a productivity monitor as a secondary option when you're traveling, go give these a look. As always, if you're interested in the Nreal Air or any of the other devices that I showed off today, I will have eBay and Amazon affiliate links down in the video description. Go give those a look. On your way down there, make sure to drop this video a like and subscribe to Craft Computing if you haven't done so already. Follow me on Twitter at Craft Computing for daily shenanigans like this. And if you like the content you see on this channel and want to help support me in what I do, consider joining the Patreon. Link is also down in the video description. That's going to do it for me in this one. Thank you all so much for watching, and as always, I will see you in the next video. Cheers, guys. That is really tasty. This video just went by really quick. Beer for today is from Ex Novo Brewing. It is the Pre-Prohibition Hazy, clocking in at 6.7%. This is a beer that I first tried over on our Talking Heads live show every Wednesday night at 6 p.m. Pacific time for the latest in beer and tech news right here on YouTube. And John and I were both confused as to why it was called a Pre-Prohibition Hazy, because those are very contradictory terms. So this is a hazy IPA with Citra and Nectarone hops. And again, I was a little confused as to why they were calling it a Pre-Prohibition Hazy, because pre-Prohibition beers were completely different than, well, the latest hazy craze. I think what we settled on is this is kind of a blend of a hazy IPA and a cream ale, which is a Prohibition style of beer. And it lends itself very, very well to the style of modern hazies, which are a little bit juicy, a little bit thicker, but not necessarily the dank IPA, grassy, kind of style of a Northwest IPA. It's a very, very interesting blend of two very different beers, and it actually works really well. This has a very creamy mouthfeel. It's very smooth. There's some tropical citrus notes in there, but it's more like melon and blood orange than it is the typical lemon or pineapple that you get out of a Northwest IPA. Like I said, it's a wonderful blend of styles of beers, and something I would like to see more of from breweries today that are trying to do something different or unique with a hazy IPA. Definitely worth picking one up if you find it. What's really fun is I can play Borderlands on like a 80-inch screen in front of my face and still find my beer.